Hi guys, it's me Samantha. I am here today with a new video using the new Pat McGrath Divine, what did they call it? Divine Blush Collection, I guess. So if you want to see me play with these, continue watching. If you're new to my channel, my name is Samantha. I'm a mom of 3. I work full-time and I'm a makeup enthusiast. I don't take myself too seriously, and neither should you. And yeah, let's get started. I put a very basic base on. I didn't even use primer, which I wish I did, but the only reason why I went so basic is because honestly there's 3 blushes that I picked up and I don't want to use them on top of each other too much, so I did want to like be able to take away some of the makeup, reapply, and then try the 3rd blush for you guys. So we're gonna start with the eyes first though, and I picked up the little palette. This is the packaging, which is so cute. It does match the blush packaging, but it's a little bit bigger. It opens like a envelope, and then this is what you get. I think it was like $58 for the quad. This is my first Pat McGrath palette that's full-size pans. I have like those little mini ones that are always on sale at Sephora, but I don't have like the full-size pans. So this is the first one that I've ever purchased. I think it was like $58, but I did like sign up for the early like notification of it, and then that gave me an email with a code, so I did get a little bit of a discount. I don't purchase anything without a discount code, even if it's a small little percentage. If it's the tax, whatever it is, I'm always using a code whenever I purchase things. So let's look inside and see what the palette looks like. There is a mirror in there, and then this is the quad. There you go. That's where you can really see it for what it's worth. I'm gonna swatch it out. This is Moonlight Liaison. It feels very creamy, but it doesn't feel like nothing I've used before. You know, it kind of reminds me of like a ColourPop formula. It doesn't look bad, but it is pretty creamy and nice and smooth. Then we have Rose Fire Nectar, which is the one that, I don't know if you can see on my finger. It's definitely like a dual chrome. It has a multi-chrome. It has like a lime green to a gold to a peachy red shift to it, and I don't know if you're gonna be able to see that on camera. Really beautiful, flaky, like sparkly formula. This probably would be best used with a glitter glue. Then we have Twilight Bronze, which is this other sparkly shade here. I'm not that great at like swatching, I'm like getting it everywhere, but it is like a bronzy taupey color. And I'm doing it on the outside of my wrist because that's like the darkest part of my body, and I really want it to see like how it really shows up. On my inside is pretty fair. I'll swatch them on the inside as well afterwards. And then this one is After Dusk, which is the darkest shade, and it's the only matte shade in here. So I'll swatch them on the inside of my wrist as well, just to appease everybody. So let me close the palette so I can read you the shades again, because it's on the back. So the top one is Moonlight Liaison. The sparklier special shade is Rose Fire Nectar. The 3rd one is Twilight Bronze, and then at the bottom we have After Dusk, which is the matte shade in there. The camera's focusing on me and not the swatches. There you go. My back side and the front side. So we're gonna play with this. It seemed like a very basic, safe color scheme, but I was like, you know what, I can make it work and I could have fun with this, so I'm gonna try it out anyway. So let's get started with that. Prime my eyes with my Milani eyeshadow primer. I don't really have a primer other than this that works that well with my lids. Like, I see other videos and I hear other people say, ooh, is it showing me good? Okay. That they have oily eyelids and this is the best primer and blah 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 blah, and they use this concealer and da 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 da. And I'm telling you, I try all these things. The Urban Decay Primer Potion, the who is it? Robert Welsh, he swears by the Sigma like shadow stick thing. I tried that. That creases on me. I've tried the e.l.f. primers, all these NYX primers. I've used concealers. It's, you know, this doesn't even work 100%, but it's like 98.5%, I would say. So it's the one that I prefer. So we're gonna go into the palette now. I feel like the natural thing to do is probably go in with this in my crease in the outer V. Use, you know, this in the inner corner, this all over the lid, right here, or maybe this all over the lid and this kind of as a topper. So that's what I think we're gonna do. Because, I mean, it doesn't give you a lot of versatility unless you don't want to use this and you just use this in its place or something like that. But there's not a whole lot of versatility to be done with this. And I have never tried a Pat McGrath matte, but it felt really, really good on the hands, and so far it looks really nice. It's blending nicely. I'm primarily going to work it in my outer part and then slowly blend it on the inner side because I don't have a lighter matte to work with. And I'm packing it on the outer part. My husband took my son to the store so that I could film and the girls are behaving. But like, every time he does that, he always forgets that it takes kind of a minute for me to set up to film because I'm filming in my bedroom in such a small space that I kind of have to like reset up every time. And then in doing that, by the time I set up and get started, he's on his way back. And then we hear the dogs barking when he comes in the door and, you know, all that. So we'll see. I try to be quick getting everything geared up, but there's one dog barking, but he could be barking at anything at this point. We got chickens. This is going on really, really nicely. You know what? I lied. I have tried her matte because I got that Celestial Divinity palette that I love so much. And I got the little rose. I'm such a liar. I've gotten a couple Pat McGrath palettes. I just haven't used them in a while. I need to dig them out. That is crazy. I'm glad I caught that though before the end of the video because that would be insanity. Yeah, I tried the Rose Divine or whatever, like mini collection, the 6 p.m. palette, and that was a freaking disappointment and a half. I was probably trying to erase that from my memory because it was such a bad experience with the eyeshadow palette and it cost me so much money. And then the Celestial Divinity was a really good recovery from that, but it was almost all shimmers. There were only 2 mattes in there, and most of the 2 mattes that were in there were kind of mid-tone, so it's nice to have something a little bit darker. My memory's coming back to me. Alright, I think that's enough. I'm getting a little carried away. So I'm gonna take the Twilight Bronze, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, pretty easy to remember the names. These shimmers are very smooth. And I'm gonna put that all over the lid. This is a very soft, like, look. It's pretty, but it doesn't have Maybe if I use a brush and like wet it. All right, I found a flat brush and I wet it. So, you know, I'm gonna do one eye with this shadow and then one with the other one. Definitely has more of a shine when you apply it with the brush, which happens. I mean, I don't really like using a brush in general, so I don't like using it for first impression either, but we're gonna take the finger and then go over that. And then I'm gonna go back in with that After Dusk matte and then just kind of blend that a little on the outer edge. I got a little fallout with that shimmer shade too, but it looks really pretty. We're gonna put the other shade, the Liaison one, what's it called? Moonlight Liaison, in the inner corner. I'm not gonna wet it. This is just like, I forget, a pointed brush. I always call it a bullet tip brush because that's what makes me think of. It's not my favorite type of shade because it is a little icy. The collection also came with, makes me think of the highlighter. It also came with a highlighter, but I didn't get the highlighter. Although the description read gold, the images just look so frosty to me, and I was like, I don't care if it's Pat McGrath. If it's a frosty highlighter, I'm not going to end up using it. I'm not going to spend the money for it to sit in my drawer, so I did not pick that up. So now I'm going to actually use a glitter primer on the other eye and go into that Nectar one. It's really, really pretty, but it is so like almost like loose glitter-ish. It has some binding to it, but not very much. So I just don't think it will. I'm 100% sure, not 100%. I'm pretty goddamn sure that if you use that without something tacky underneath it, it will disappear from your eyelid completely. It just will. It's one of those shades. So we're going to go in with the flat brush on the other side, obviously. I hope you guys can see me because I'm like always doing that thing where I'm like leaning into the mirror. I just picked it up so I can not drive you crazy and annoy you guys. And of course there's fallout. Yeah, and with the brush, when I try to like swipe it, it flakes away. If I just look strange leaning into the camera to turn my head side to side, I'm gonna go in with the Moonlight Liaison in the inner corner because that's what we got. But see that Fire Nectar, it doesn't, it seems out of place, and I can be wrong, but it feels like they don't really go together. Yeah, I'm not crazy about that shade being in here. I really wish that this was like a more of a gold and not like a white gold. Like I want it to be yellow gold because it just doesn't go with the other shades. Well, this one, I don't know. This shade here is a little bit more cooler tone, so it feels like this kind of. But with this fiery shade, I don't know. So I'm gonna just take a small brush and take After Dusk a little bit under the lower lash line and then put mascara. Alright, I am using the Anastasia Lash Brag on my eyes. My hair is driving me nuts per usual because I'm trying to wear it down. Alright, So as I said before, I was very basic with my base. I didn't even use a primer, so you can probably see a little bit more texture than usual. I feel like primers do make a difference, like, I don't know. But anyways, for foundation, I just put on this Milani Screen Queen, and then I had the Milani concealer on. I use a little Charlotte Tilbury under my eyes, and I am using the Juvia's Place Tan Bronze Duo bronzer or whatever, just a little bit of bronzer. I didn't put too much because I really don't want it to overshadow the blushes. So let me grab some blush brushes. All right, I try to pick 3 brushes that have similar density. This one's a different shade, but it's gonna still show us the pigment, so that's what really matters. I got 2 matte blushes, and I also got 1 shimmery one. I'm gonna try the 2 matte ones first because I think at the end of this look, I'm just gonna land on the shimmery one. So the first one I'm gonna show you here is, this is the packaging, so cute. And it also comes with like a little mirror, not that you would really necessarily need it. This is Love Struck. I was going back and forth if I wanted this. I feel so sad ruining the little detailed inside. And you know what it makes me think of? It makes me think of the Sacred Heart. And it makes me think of my grandma. So she loved that symbol. You know, Puerto Rican Catholic. That looks really pretty. They are very pigmented. I'm barely touched the blush, and I dipped 3 times total, but very lightly, and look at how much blush you get. I think that looks really pretty, even with this eyeshadow look. Even though it's a little bit more berry pink, it still looks good. I'm really liking that. All right, this was one that I wasn't sure. I kept going back between this one and Electro Bloom, which I did not pick up, but I might pick it up still. I was like, I can't be buying everything. My husband will kill me. The next one we're gonna try is Paradise Venus, and that is a terracotta shade. And I feel like this is gonna be my favorite because I just love colors like this. All right, let's try it. Oh, I'm loving it already. I don't know if you guys can see because I'm trying to be light-handed, but maybe I should go in a little heavier so that it's more visible on camera, since I am gonna wash it off. Yeah, I'm gonna pile on a little bit more than I normally would so you can see it, because I feel like because this is so pink, it actually punches out more. This has like more of a brown tint to it, and it's closer to my skin tone naturally, so it blends more nicely. But in person, I could probably just do the 3 dabs. I think I added like 2 more dabs to get this effect, and that is actually perfect with this eye look. It's perfect. Oh, all right, so now we're gonna kind of wipe this away, and we're gonna reapply our foundation, and then we're gonna go into the last one, which is Desert Orchid. All right, so we reapplied makeup, and I powdered it so it wouldn't be so tacky, and I put a little bit of bronzer back in. And so we're gonna open up the little envelope here for the Desert Orchid, and here's the packaging again. Now maybe I should just also show you, this is also the size of the packaging in comparison to each other. That's a good size. Everything, the pans in these shadows are big, and then the blush is a really good standard size blush. And so this is Desert Orchid, which is like a nude shade with like, it looks like a slight peachiness to it. And we're gonna go in with this blush brush here. And I did like 3 or 4, I think, dabs. This one I anticipate using a little bit more just because it's a lighter shade, but it's glowy, so I think you can see it. I'm not sure. I'm gonna put a little more for you guys really, but I can see it and I think it looks really pretty. No blush. You can, I think you can see the difference. I can see it in the monitor, so hopefully you can too. But we'll put some over here so I don't look crazy and I can go about my day. Oh, this could be like a legit favorite. Like I could use this all day long. I don't know if you can see. I think you can see it. When I'm up close, the lights are so bright. I think it kind of makes it disappear, but you can see that it's just like glowy and shiny and beautiful and very natural looking. This is something I could wear like every single day. This, you know, it's the grocery store or whatever. You don't look ridiculous all over the top. For the eyes, I think they look stunning. The only shade I wish that wasn't in there is that shade that I use on the inner corner, the Moonlight Liaison. I just think it should have been something a little bit more gold, yellow gold leaning, just because, I don't know. It does go with the bronze side, but it just doesn't go with that special shade. And if you're going to put a special shade in there, you should kind of cater to it. That's just my opinion on that. Let me put on something on my lips. That is it, me trying out these products. I'm really happy with the blushes. I think the eyeshadow quality is really good. I mean, my only complaint was really a color, and that's really not about the formula. It's just like a preference thing. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this purchase. I can't complain, and I'm going to continue to use these things, and I'll let you know in a later video if I decide that I hate something or not, if it becomes my favorite. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Please hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos with me. I'd really appreciate it. And until next time, love you guys. Bye.